would the ICJ, for example, not International Court of Justice, would not see this as a further evidence in his genocide case? As we know, one of the criterion in assessing whether someone's committing genocide or not is to see whether the act of whether a country or a state is deliberately inflicting conditions of life calculated to bring about the physical destruction in whole or in part. So in this case, if you look at everything Israel has done in Gaza, it's made Gaza uninhabitable. So it's clearly, creating conditions of life that will not sustain the population of Gaza. That in itself is clear evidence of that there is genocide. The ICJ, I assume, would look at that in those terms.
Absolutely. And I think by this point, any reasonable observer and anyone with an even basic knowledge of the Genocide Convention and international law will consider it inconceivable that the International Court of Justice will not find Israel guilty of perpetrating genocide against the Palestinian population of the Gaza Strip. But, the final determination on this case is several years in the future, at least 2 or 3 years in the future. And more importantly, Israel doesn't give a damn what the International Court of Justice may or may not rule. It doesn't give a damn about about arrest warrants by the International Criminal Court, because the only thing it cares about is maintaining the support and endorsement of its Western allies and sponsors. And as we've seen very clearly, they're not prepared to put any restraint whatsoever on Israel. The only active measure that's been taken during the past 18 months was last week by the European Union, which rushed to Israel's aid when forest fires broke out around Jerusalem. A self-inflicted calamity, I should add, because Israel has, over the decades, insisted on planting trees which are more suitable to a European environment in the semi-arid environment of the Levant. That's really the only concrete action the European Union has taken since October of 2023. And as long as it's just words and expressions of concern and even the occasional condemnation, but no meaningful actions, Israel is made to understand that it can do as it pleases. It can intensify, it can escalate, it can kill, rape, murder, destroy as much as it wants, because it is perfectly fine and acceptable as far as the countries of North America and Europe are concerned. So is the International Court of Justice legally and politically significant? Of course it is, but that's in the future, and Israel understands there will be no consequences. I mean, look at the ICC arrest warrant. You just had, I believe it was Greece and France and one other country gleefully opening up their airspace to the international fugitive and indicted war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu to fly through their territory to the United States. Do you really think they would have extended a similar courtesy to an African dictator who was wanted by the ICC? Of course not. But when it comes to Israel, there is always an exception.